When you upload a video, YouTube does not see your effort, your time, or your intention. It sees patterns and behavior. Within the first few hours, your video is quietly being judged based on how people react, not how much work you put into it. Most people think YouTube is broken when they get no views, but the truth is much harsher than that. Your video was tested. It just failed so quickly that it felt like nothing happened at all. When your video goes live, YouTube sends it to a very small group of people first. This group is not your audience. It is a random test group used to decide whether your video deserves to be shown further. These people do not know you. They are not subscribed to you, and they have no reason to care. They are simply the first filter your video must pass through before YouTube gives it any real exposure. At this stage, YouTube is watching three simple things very closely. Did they click? Did they keep watching? And did they stay long enough to signal that the video was worth their time? If people do not click your video, your thumbnail and title have already failed the test. YouTube immediately assumes that showing it to more people would create the same result, so it stops pushing it. If people click but leave quickly, your opening failed to hold attention. YouTube reads that as a bad viewer experience and becomes less willing to recommend your content to others. If people watch for a short time but drop off early, your structure is the problem. That signals to YouTube that your content does not maintain engagement, which limits how far it will spread. This entire process happens silently and often within just a few impressions. That is why it feels like your video was never given a real chance to succeed. But it was given a chance, it just did not pass the test required to move forward. YouTube is constantly protecting viewers from content that does not perform well immediately. That means your video has to prove itself early, not eventually. Waiting for it to pick up later is not how the system works anymore. This is where most small creators lose without realizing it. They focus on improving everything except the moment that actually decides whether their video lives or dies. They improve editing, they improve scripts, and they try to be more consistent. But they ignore the first impression, which is the single most important moment in the entire process. Your thumbnail is not just a design, it is a decision point that determines whether someone even considers your video. If it does not create curiosity instantly, your video never even begins. Your title is not just describing the video, it is making a promise to the viewer. If that promise is weak or unclear, people scroll straight past without thinking twice. Your first 10 seconds are not just an introduction, they are a filter. If those seconds do not grab attention immediately, YouTube assumes the rest of the video will not hold it either. Most people blame the algorithm when things do not work, but the algorithm is not random. It is reacting directly to how people behave when they see your content. It is not hiding your videos. It is observing that viewers are not engaging with them. Once that pattern is detected, distribution slows down very quickly. That is why you might see a few impressions and then nothing happens. That is not bad luck. That is a failed test that stops your video from being pushed further. But here is the part that actually matters. You only need to pass this test once for everything to change. If your video performs slightly better than expected in that first group, YouTube expands the test. More people see it, and the same evaluation process repeats again at a larger scale. If it performs again, it expands even further. This is how videos go from a few impressions to hundreds, then thousands, without any external push. The goal is not to make a perfect video that works for everyone. The goal is to make a video that performs well enough to pass the first test group. That means thinking differently about how you create content from the beginning. You need to design your video for attention, not just information. Instead of asking if your video is good, ask if someone would stop scrolling for it. Instead of asking if it is valuable, ask if someone would click it instantly. Instead of focusing on explaining things clearly, focus on holding attention immediately. Because YouTube does not reward effort, it rewards performance from the very start. If your videos are getting no views, it is not because you are unlucky or invisible. It is because your content is not passing the first test that YouTube gives it. The good news is that this is completely fixable once you understand what is actually happening. When you build videos to pass that first test, everything about your results starts to change.